evening, everyone. Got a map to finish. Hey there, how's it going? So I got most of the pencils and ink done. Today I am working on getting trying to finish off this map as much as possible since I need it for Thursday. Oh man, you gotta get off the couch. Get yourself like a spare bed or something. Do you ever try doing Oh, nice, nice. All right, so that'll be 4 or 5 of us. So anyone else who may tune into this show, the Dungeon Delver, the Dungeon Minister, and probably Kat Rocha or Jay Shirofini will be doing a show once a month on Saturdays. I think the first one we're going to be on the Dungeon Delvers channel, so we'll advertise a bit more this weekend, but it should be a lot of fun. Nerds the round table. I like the sound of that. So I have been thinking of some topics for the show. I mean, for sure, I think we need to talk about this week's events with Twitter, but a little bit broader too, and how free speech in different hobbies like arts and even fiction, TV shows, movies, how they what happens when you don't have free speech, and just how things go horribly awry. What do you think? How does that stippling look around the edges of the dirt? Is that too much, you think, or Hey, Mobius. How's it going? So, how do you guys like the stippling? The sort of dark marks around the corner of the maps. Not sure if I like it or not. Yeah, I kind of think it is too. Problem is, I need something that's kind of some pattern that sets it off. I think. Hmm. Oof. I did not use the right layer. Well, we'll see how that goes, and I will take a look in a second. Yeah, interesting. Interesting would be one way to put it. But trying to get ready. So I've got, I think, an interesting campaign going right now. I've got just added a fifth player, but it's D&D 5e, so might not be the favorite thing for some people. However, I think it's pretty darn fun because I've got everybody like has a conflict with each other personality wise, which to me makes it hilarious. So there's an elf. Well, elves and humans are not well. They don't get along well in this world, and so basically, what's happening is. So you got the elves and the humans conflicting, but there's also conflict between people who use arcane magic, and there's an order of paladins who go out through the continent and kill arcane users. So I've got one guy who's a licensed magician, which the paladins won't kill them, but they don't like him either. And so those guys are kind of together. And then I had a thief and a fighter from a foreign country who took a job to rob a museum. And they basically, all of them had a dust up in the first adventure, which was level 1. And so now they've all got to be on the same team, so to speak. So I think it's going to be quite interesting to see what happens, because almost everybody doesn't like somebody else. So conflict doesn't always have to be fighting monsters. 5e, yeah. Well, the thing about 5e is that there's all sorts of free rule books out there, so you don't have to actually give them any money. And I don't really have a problem with not giving them money, so to speak. I think that as a rule set in and of itself, it's not so bad. I think it's good for new players. Um, it's certainly less math in a lot of areas than earlier editions, which I have nothing against the math. I just think when you're bringing new people into the game, it can be a little easier. But I hear you. I mean, their business plan has really confused me. Hey, all these people who gave us money over the years, let's piss them off. Doesn't seem like a great idea. I mean, to be honest, I think trying to get new players was, a pretty good idea. And you'd be foolish not to strike while the anvil's hot. There's 5e clones. I don't know about clones, but I think you can get the starter rules, the starter set for free on D&D Beyond. And I think on Roll20, which is certainly free, you can get that. I don't know if there's clones. That'd be interesting if they sort of forked it like like Pathfinder is more or less 3.5e. Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree about wanting to hit him in the pocketbook. The only thing for me is that I want to outdo him. I want independent campaign guides to be better than anything they put out. And you're not going to be able to outsell Hasbro. But if there's a lot of people talking about them, you're getting publicity. I think it goes to show them that you can't always treat people like that. There's potentially more money from outside than within. That's why can't he sell it? I mean, you have to be careful not to use their copyright book, their copyrighted material. But I mean, other than that, they can't stop you from selling campaign guides. And there are indie campaign guides that, don't have their material in it. I don't know specifically what happened with that one, but it certainly can be done. Yeah, okay. See, DM's Guild, I'm half and half on that one. I think in a lot of ways it's fantastic that they give people a way to make a fan created. You could do your fan fiction and sell it, and make a little bit of money. But the thing I don't like is, do you like barista jobs? Because that's how you end up with barista jobs. Also, the fact that the price is 50%, you're giving Wizards of the Coast 50% of the take. That I definitely do not like. The thing that is nice about that system, though, is that's how manga works in Japan. So let's say you're a guy who wants to get into the manga industry. You can take copyrighted characters, you can make your own adventures, and you can go to conventions. And at conventions, you sell the stuff, right? And they won't sue you. Now you're limited in the number that you can make, and in what exactly you can sell. But it's a great thing for people who want to get in the industry. It's also good for people because what'll happen is you'll have talent scouts at all these conventions, and they'll take a look at who's doing what, and if you're good enough, the company might pick you up. So that's the good part. The part I don't like is that it seems to me that they should not be able to copyright, or sorry, not that they can't copyright, but you should be able to put like this is compatible with Dungeons and Dragons 5e on the box. It reminds me in the old days, if you're old enough to remember Nintendo. So before you had to have Nintendo's seal of approval on everything. And there was a baseball game. I can't remember which it was. They were the first game to launch without Nintendo's official seal. And so, of course, Nintendo sued them. And it ended up being ruled that Nintendo cannot monopolize it. It would be like if I had custom made chess pieces and I said, my custom made chess pieces will fit a board made by whatever company. They couldn't stop me from that. So I don't see how Dungeons and Dragons is able to do that. Yeah, that would definitely be an interesting topic for him. There's a lot of legal stuff that Legal Shenanigans, let's say. Yeah, that'd be a good name for a show. Legal Shenanigans with Ty Beard. Isn't Ty's thing copyright law, anyways? I kind of thought he was doing some of that stuff with, but that's his law firm's main bread and butter, isn't it? Well, Mobius, that's the old Michael Jackson problem. I don't know if you're old enough to remember, but one day, must have been near the late 80s, Michael Jackson goes on TV. He announces a press conference. He's super duper famous at that point. So, of course, all the reporters are going to come, oh, what's this guy announcing? And he goes on and he says, now I want you all to refer to me as the king of pop. And everybody made fun of this guy, right? Oh, who are you? You're so arrogant. But within a year, excuse me, everybody started saying, oh, Michael Jackson, the king of pop. So it was kind of self-fulfilling prophecy. So then you had Howard Stearns, a couple of years later. He had a press conference and he said, okay, I want you to start referring to me as the king of all media. And everybody laughed. But a year or two later, when he's making his movie, what was that, Buttman, Fartman, something like that? Everybody called him Howard Stearns, the king of all media. So maybe Elite Play is his deal is just, if he says it enough, everyone will just start referring to him like that. So if I release this as a D&D playing guide, or as a campaign guide, and Wizards of the Coast sue me, Ty can hook me up for them being torturously interfering with my ability to make some money. What RPG Elite ghosted you? What's this story? Right. If you're using their IP, but the thing is, what if I'm not using their IP? I'm just using their rules. And if I say, hey, you need the D&D 5e campaign book in order to play this game, if anything, they should be thanking me because I'm encouraging people to buy their product. That is one of the big pains about the campaign guide I'm working on is, should I decide to say, okay, use a guard stat block, or should I just make my own? At this point, I think it's kind of just safer to use my own, even though that's going to eat up a bunch of pages. It's not a river, actually. This is a sewer area under my main city. Trying to use it for a couple of reasons. One is I have this theory that you should always give players unique settings so it's easy to remember. And then, in addition to the unique settings, once they get around level 5, this city is getting, or town, I should say, is getting totally demolished. It gets overrun by undead. And, depending on how the players react, they can save their own skins, or if they want to be heroes, they can save town members. One of the nice things about this town is that there's a lot of family and, several NPCs that they get close to. So I believe that players are going to want to do that. But one option you have is most of the undead are on the streets, right? So you can try to sneak your party and whoever they're escorting through the sewers. Well, it just didn't show up. No notice. That sucks, man. Yeah, I hear you. For a lot of stuff, I just do theater of the mind. The problem is for certain battles, I just have so many characters. There could be 15 potential enemy characters. And it's just too much for me to keep track of. Plus, as a selling point, people like maps. Working on an angle? Sounds good, man. I'm curious as to what that is. Ah. Okay. That's what I want. Oh, this would be better. Okay. Well, gonna have to redo that later. Well, the Ultimate Thieves Guild would be in the government, right? It'd just be politicians. You know, these wet media brushes don't look very wet. I'm almost wondering if I should. Interesting. All right. Almost wondering if I should take this into Procreate. Try those. Oh, that's kind of neat. It's not exactly what I wanted, but I'm going to say that these skills are kind of underutilized. I do not like any of these. Any of these brushes. There we go. I mean, for me, the most realistic campaign you're going to get is like the government hires you as tax auditors. You got to go out and you got to collect all the taxes that all these companies and the Mages Guild and whatnot that they didn't want to pay. They claimed exemptions, but they're denying, but the government's denying them. So you got to go rough up, like the Mages Guild, or let's say you got a new temple, and the government has decided that they do not qualify for a 50c3 corp. All right. So, what do you think, guys? How is this looking? Thanks, man. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna have time to go back and change that spray, but it is on my to-do list before I consider this final. Thank you very much. One day I might color them as well. We'll have to see about that. Certainly not before Thursday's game. Yeah. For the show on Saturday, for sure. I think that's got to be a topic that we talk about. I've been on Twitter the whole time. It, part of it is how much do you get wrapped up in other people's nonsense. For me, I just use it. Well, I use it to connect with certain people, and there's a lot of people that I definitely would not have found if I had never gone on Twitter. So I am kind of thankful for that. And then there's also a matter of, I can read things and not lose my mind and feel a need to post about them. Uh, so, if somebody's going off on a screed with something that I either don't agree with or whatnot, I just don't do it. Um, for a couple of reasons. One is I treat Twitter as a bit more of a business thing. And while, yeah, I do have personal opinions that I share on there every now and again, um, I just don't really feel a need to share that much. Like for me, it's more about how things work out in action. Like, make a good D&D module or run some good games, you know, and that'll show your values more than just going off on somebody on Twitter. That's just my opinion. Yeah, I mean, you're not exactly wrong, Mobius, but there's still a bunch of people on Twitter. There's a lot of people making games. There's a lot of people who don't agree with that nonsense. I've seen some people in Dungeon Delvers chat that I've sent his way. I recommend, hey, check out this stream. It's pretty cool. I think most people, don't necessarily care about politics one way or the other. They just want to get along with their life and they want to just do their thing. But I think it's going to get a lot better now. I mean, I've been hearing from people. First of all, there's some people who I follow who I haven't really seen posting very much, and all of a sudden, their stuff is in my timeline again. And there's people whose accounts have been restored that have been gone for more than a year. So it's going to be real interesting to see exactly what happens. So I didn't realize that you have to rinse stuff when you print it out. Which kind of printing are you doing, Dungeon Delver? Are you doing the not latex? What am I thinking of? PVC? Vinyl? What the heck do you call that stuff? Oh yeah, resin. So can your printer do both, or do you need two printers for those two different kinds? So theoretically, how many of those things could you print in a day? Like in a realistic day, not you're staying up by your printer 24 hours. Hmm. Bears. Oh, that's right. Sorry, I forgot you're up in Canada. Hey, that's not too bad. 8 minis in about 5 hours. So, out of curiosity, like, what's the material cost of of 8 minis in 5 hours?
I wanna drown inside this. I wanna drown inside this. Go down and I can't. I never had a vibe this vibe. Also shiny with that 3-eye vision. Take this moment, I'm a dying second. I am pariah. I get my right. Words they carry, don't trust the silence. Gotta fill it all up. Like. To my phone screen, ultraviolet. It's ultraviolet. Probably need more milk, but it all spilled. Sip of my guilt inside. Temper. Don't throw a tantrum. The words that ring. Make it endless. Aim like frisbee. Make it happen. I'm not crappy. Swelling away. Time coming. Tide. I pray for a low tide. I pray for a low tide. I play the role. I'm a people pleaser. And got lost in the speaker tweet. Teeter totter tween Leo so prima donna. Basically Peter fodder. See them saw it like it's all past lives that they lived and loved 100,000 conscious. It's all connected. We all some monsters. Smell fans out like we met the jump, y'all. Raw heartbeat down on the man that smash bro. No slam, no cheat code, just eats the kitten. Game 2, baby, no PS prisms. Be in prison, I'll just stand around me. Hope I don't drown in the beef this week like it's all on my nose, but I hate the stench of low tide. Low tide.
Oh, well, that's not bad. That's a lot cheaper than Hero Forge, I'll tell you that. All right, so what do you guys think of the map? I think I am pretty much done with everything that I can do for Thursday's game. I got to actually prep roll 20 tomorrow. What do you think? Oh, you better believe it. They are going to have to make con saves if they go into the water, which those boards are rather precarious, and they're going to have penalties to getting disease if they have any cuts on them, which they are going to fight cultists down here, and there's a rat nest. So if they screw that up and bother the rats, well, they're going to get they're going to have some fun with those too. Thanks, guys. Well, I have to end this broadcast here. I got to get going, get a shower. Got to get up 5 o'clock, go to work. So thanks for hanging out, guys. Anyone else? Check out the Dungeon Delvers channel this week. I will be there Friday evening along with Mobius for the Gamma World game. We have a ship that can go into orbit now. It's going to be awesome. We could fight on the moon. And then Saturday afternoon on the Dungeon Delvers channel, we will have Nerds of the Roundtable. So good night, everyone. Click like, subscribe. I'll be back before too long.